players. We can see that double Stargate from Poppy Joe helping him to catch up to Rotterdam. However, Rotti is finishing up his second Stargate at the natural as well, which means he will have an opportunity to stay even Stevens on that Phoenix count. Neither player has started the fleet beacon yet. Neither player investing terribly, as I say it. Both players start their fleet beacons immediately. Both players looking to invest, of course, in that anion pulse crystals upgrade. Anion pulse crystals, of course, has two amazing properties. It, one, increases the range of your Phoenix, but much more importantly, it turns your Phoenix lasers from blue to purple, and purple is objectively a better color than blue, and that's what makes these Phoenix lasers so much better once they're upgraded with anion pulse crystals. Love it. Love it. Third Stargate on the way from Poppy Joe here. A Zealot from Count. Of course, he's going to take out the scouting probe from Poppy Joe. Poppy Joe will have no idea what's going on in Rotterdam's base. I believe he did see that robo facility, so we might see, yeah, Observer coming out just to be extra super safe from Rotterdam. Maybe get a bead on what Poppy Joe is up to. Poppy Joe trying to replant that third base down, but the income, of course, spiking significantly in Rotti's favor as that third base finishes up in time. Phoenix engagement going down, but of course the Phoenix count in favor of Rotterdam. He's going to fight away from a shield battery, but Rotti's going to go ahead and take this fight, and I think it's pretty good. Great focus fire here from Rotti, and Poppy Joe knows he can't do it with a bulk of his Phoenix back home. Rotterdam cleans up, and game number 1 is going to go to the squad represented by Team Rotti. Well played by Rotterdam. Goblin just a little bit, and Goblin's going to be able to get away with only building 2 of those Stalkers. It's going to be just fine. So natural down for Goblin and Space Marine, doubling down on these additional, this additional pressure, getting a forward gateway here. A couple of Stalkers are out. Make it 8 total Stalkers. 7, there it is. 8 total Stalkers for Space Marine. Only 1 shield battery, but Goblin does have 2 Void Rays out. He should be able to drive this away. No natural for Space Marine, who's basically gone all in on this forward pressure. Goblin has not seen it yet, though. Check Goblin's vision here. He doesn't know about this aggressive forward gateway from Space Marine. Doesn't know that he's about to get hit with a huge Stalker army, but the Void Ray count is now up to 3 Stalkers. Of course, armored units should get a little bit of extra damage done. Those Void Rays should get a little bit of extra damage done. And here we go. No prismatic alignment just yet for Goblin. Playing it calm. Playing it safe. Natural's down, no natural for Space Marine. He's all in right now, just warping in nothing but Stalkers. Stalker count all the way up to 14 now for Space Marine. Goblin has now seen a bunch of Stalkers and should suspect something's going on. He's not going to change any of his strategy, though. Still just making Void Rays from a single Stargate, adding on some shield batteries back into his natural to make sure he can defend against this. And here we go, Space Marine with the aggressive blink forward there. 1 Void Ray gonna go down, the second Void Ray gonna go down as well. Third Void Ray barely stays alive. There it is, the third Void Ray goes down, but the Stalker's still alive. Shield battery overcharge for Goblin is gonna be able to drive Space Marine away here, and further and further and further behind gets Space Marine. Still no natural, only 23 workers to the 30th Goblin. Goblin, of course, has stopped worker production, but he's going to be able to get a little bit more damage done. Here we go, another Stalker. Oh, man, there's not quite enough Stalkers to one-shot those Void Rays yet. Now it's just Void Ray versus Void Ray. Shield battery overcharge not available. Both shield batteries are still alive. However, initial single shots, and yeah, Goblin knows he can't hold it. Space Marine finally able to overwhelm Goblin there, and Space Marine, with some very aggressive forward Stalker play, drives this series to an even game, 1-1. Very strange single proxied starport. Of course, there's a second starport back home, and Lilicanine has started that fusion core very early, which means battlecruisers on the way. Just 1 for now, but of course with gases 3 and 4 finished up for Lilicanine, he's going to have battlecruisers number 2 and 3 coming down shortly behind this, I'm sure. Scouting barracks is an almost is an egregious indicator that there is not going to be bioplay from Lilicanine. He's clearly going for either mech build or battlecruisers. Lilicanine unable to defend his proxy starport, going to lose all his progress on battlecruiser number 1, forced to start battlecruiser number 2 back home. This is not going at all as Lilicanine had hoped. He's forced to bring his army sort of over to this starport, and then he's got a recall. He knows this big push is coming. Couple Marines and a couple tanks. He's not going to be able to engage with it. There's only enough energy on this Raven for 1 interference matrix, and oh my god, the Raven's so low right now. Holy smokes, that was so close for Acheron. Lilicanine barely alive right now. He's got to repair this Raven up. Smart play. Losing the Raven would be an enormous loss right now. You've got to have those interference matrices if you want to be able to fight these tanks for Acheron. Right now, the tank count is at 6 for Acheron and 0 for Lilicanine. Nothing going right now for the ePunks old school squad in game number 3. Third base down for Acheron. Huge tank count. Mules raining from the sky like arrows in the hot gates. Or the hot gates, the hell gates, whichever it was, for the Spartans. Unbelievable stuff. Lilicanine is still going. Lilicanine has 4 battlecruisers on the map, trying to get up to 6. You can see how stretched Lilicanine is for gas, though. He's got almost no gas in the bank right now, and he's only making 2 battlecruisers at a time when he'd like to be doing 3 at the same time. But here's the big push from Acheron, and look at Acheron's army supply, 119 to 62. Even the army value tab shows that despite not having any super high value units like battlecruisers, no tier 3 units, he's only got that Raven, really. In his build, he still has a significantly more valuable army than his opponent. 1 interference matrix onto the single siege tank in the forward position from Lilicanine. That's going to allow Acheron to get in a really beautiful position to move forward here. The battlecruisers from Lilicanine are trying to go around for a counter punch at the 12 o'clock, at the 11 o'clock right now of the base, but there's simply not enough here to defend, and it looks like even though there's 3 tanks here, I think that Acheron should be able just to destroy this. Stim is finished, combat shields is finished, +1/+1 is finished as well, and Acheron has a significant tank advantage, well, had a significant tank advantage, 4-4, but he's able to sacrifice a couple of those tanks and the Marines to jump on top. The battlecruisers from Lilicanine going to move on into the third base, and of course the Vikings for Acheron are way out of position right now. These battlecruisers may have a chance to get some damage done, but the Vikings heading back home quite quickly. This is a nice play from Acheron. As his Marines clean up the tanks and battlecruisers back home, the Vikings should be able to take out these battlecruisers one by one. Tactical jump available, but it looks like Lilicanine not microing quite as well as he should. Oh no, he's trying to get those Yamato cannons off. He's got weapon refit on those battlecruisers, able to get the Yamato cannons off, but he's not able to get them off in time. And even though Acheron has lost 14 workers, look at the worker count, guys. Lilicanine and Acheron, even on workers. Acheron up a base and the army supply twice in favor of Team Rotti's Acheron, the Spanish Terran, looking very, very strong. And here we go, the battlecruisers with no... Oh, they do have jump available. Oh, a bit of missed target firing there from Acheron. Doesn't get either of the battlecruisers, but I don't think it matters. He should just be able to rock and roll over Lilicanine's position here. Only 1 tank in the backside. Lilicanine knows it. GG! Team Rotti walks away with a game number 2 win. This is a best of 5, so it ain't over. But Team Rotti up 2-1 right now. Through all of the Marines. The problem could be that Acheron is going to go for that 7-minute push we talked about earlier with no combat shields. Normally, if you know you're up against Colossi, I think Acheron probably waits back home to get the combat shield upgrade, as he hasn't spotted this Colossi upgrade from Poppy Joe, and he's not guessed it. I thought he may have guessed what he was going for, but he doesn't seem to have guessed it. These 2 Colossi are going to get a lot of damage done. Only 3 gates right now, though, for Poppy Joe, which means he's not going to be able to warp in any reinforcements at a reasonable rate. Charge lot is going to finish here in about 10 seconds, which is going to be really nice, but if these tanks get sieged up, this could be really bad news here. These Colossi can't afford to eat shots from those tanks. Only 1 shield battery here at the third base. A couple of probes going down, a very aggressive tank position from Acheron here, and now Poppy Joe is just hoping this third Colossi will be enough to save him. Here come the leapfrogging tanks from Acheron. No pressure in the main, by the way, so all the attention in this game is going to be focused right here at the third base of Poppy Joe. Poppy Joe waiting, holding, biding his time, hoping to get some free shots up, but it looks like he's just going to trade away this third base as he knows he doesn't quite have enough gateway units to sustain a long-term push against it. There are only 5 zealots on the map right now, and as we said earlier, you've got to have those zealots to create a little bit of space in between your Colossi and the zealots. Third Nexus is down. Both shield batteries are down. Poppy Joe under duress, pushing back. He's trying to expand to a new third base here. Third base for Acheron, by the way, almost finished up here. So he's going to be fairly even on the income game. Poppy Joe way ahead on workers, but those mules should help Acheron to stay competitive for just a little while longer. 3 Colossi. Here's the Archons and the charge slot that we talked about. That Warp Prism is going to be such a keystone unit in this game. If the Warp Prism goes down, that means there's no chance for juggling Archons, for juggling Colossi, and 1 good stim can take out all. I'm talking about all of those Colossus. Poppy Joe, what are you doing? Eats 2 salvos from 4 siege tanks. That's a lot of siege tank damage to eat early on. My god. Here we go. Finally, the gateways have finished up. The gateway count all the way up to 10 now for Poppy Joe, realizing he needs more of those charge slots to create that space. A second additional force coming in. Reinforcements from Acheron up the north side. I wonder if he's going to go for a pincer movement here with the reinforcements coming up in the choke point near the third base while he sandwiches these Colossi between. Oh, a good feedback there on the Raven. No interference matrices available. And here we go. Charge lots on top of the tanks, and Acheron going to get caught before his reinforcements get here. It's just bio, but there's so much bio from Acheron. It does look like 1, 2, 3 Archon's going to go down. Nice micro from Poppy Joe, but the reinforcements from Acheron up on the north side, and that's going to be just enough. Microing the Colossi back barely in time. It looks like Poppy Joe might be able to hold this. The Colossi still alive. What a good micro from Poppy Joe, saving Colossi 1, Colossi 2. Tanks in the backside, the reinforcements just barely enough. Big warpins from Poppy Joe on the backside. The Colossi still alive, but only just barely. Look at that. Both Colossi live, and Poppy Joe beats back Acheron's forces. What a trade from Poppy Joe. Unbelievable. Unbelievable trade. Those Colossi staying alive. I told you that Warp Prism is going to be the clutch keystone unit in the build, and you might think, oh, it's just a Warp Prism. It saved the flippin' day there. It's like all those old Batman cartoons when Batman's like, oh no, we're doomed, Robin, and Robin's like, no, we're not. I stole the bad guy's spark plug. He won't be able to start his car. And Batman's like, oh, Robin, I love you. And he's like, I know, I love you too. And then they make out furiously. That might be a different video I saw. Way. Ghosts are going to be incredibly clutch right now, but Acheron, he's trying to go for a double drop. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like Acheron needs to sit back, try and macro his way out of this, but he's just going to go for the harassment potential. He knows that he's taken out a lot of Poppy Joe's army, but Poppy Joe is doing a fairly decent job here. He's on 69 army supply, nice, to the 79 of Acheron, and Acheron not able to get much done there. Only 3 probes and a bit of lost mining time. This 4th base still solid from Poppy Joe, holding very well. Sorry, guys, some admin stuff in the backside as well. All right, Zealots coming in here. Archon coming in as well. Upgrades even for these 2 players, but +2 armor about to finish for Poppy Joe. Cutting off some reinforcements here. Did the Ghost go down there? No, no Ghost go down yet. The Ghost count all the way up at 5. Ghost with fairly decent energy, and EMP, Advanced Shockwaves, is finished up. Little run by here as the army is out of position. The pylon goes down, gets in some of these warping zealots as well. Might be able to get this pylon before the reinforcements come in, but on the other side of the map, here's the big engagement. Poppy Joe just moving in. Huge EMPs from Acheron, though, going down on all those charge lots. The charge lots getting very awkward patterns here. Ghosts getting everything they can. Great EMPs onto the Templar as well. No storms available right now for Poppy Joe, even though he's researched it. Not a single storm going down, but there it is. 1 storm going down. Is it going to be enough? It looks like Acheron's army bleeding out. This 3rd base forced to lift off here. 20 more SCVs go down. There is a small strike force at the 4th base of Poppy Joe. Poppy Joe warping in to try and save the day, but oh my god, the next pylon goes down. Great target firing by Acheron here, who prevents the warp in, or prevents the recall from Poppy Joe. Poppy Joe now in between a rock and a hard place. He's got to decide, does he go all the way back home to defend, or does he try and just push into the natural? It doesn't matter. Acheron knows he's screwed. Poppy Joe takes the win off Team Rotti, and the game evens up at 2-2. We're going to a game 5. As soon as Stim is finished up, as soon as there are 2 or 3 tanks on the field, Lillikanine's probably just going to go and try and siege up Goblin. Goblin's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between it. No, that's not right. 4 shield batteries down at his natural here, taking no chances. Knows that something fishy's going on. Has only seen the proxy barrack right now, but knows there's no natural. He knows that... Oh my god, the boys are coming as well. Oh my god. Goblin knows this is coming. Can he defend? What a way to end game number 5. Not with a whimper, but with a bang, baby dolls. 2nd Void Ray, pardon me, 3rd Void Ray on the way right now for Gabo, who's adding a shield battery up on his north side as well. He's got it. He will have enough energy for... There it is. Enough energy for a shield battery overcharge. Oh my god, he didn't. He used a chrono. He's chroning out a Void Ray instead. He won't have enough for a shield battery overcharge by the time this push hits. The drilly boys are here. The tanky boys are here. The shooty boys are here. And so are the flyy boys. It all comes down to this. Can the siege tank siege up in time? Gabo sees it coming. He attacks immediately, getting right on top of the tanks. 1 tank down, 2nd tank down as well. All that's left are Marines here. 13 Marines, but 5 Stalkers, 4 shield batteries, all out of energy. There's the shield battery overcharge from the main nexus here. The Void Ray's getting pushed back. The Marines trying to focus fire, but nice target firing by Gabo here. Lillikanine gonna get pushed back, and that looks like a pretty solid hold from our boy Gabo. The tanks unable to add anything to that. 1 more tank coming out, but Goblin has held unbelievably, incredibly. What a read from Goblin. Saw that something suspicious, saw that something sneaky was coming, and Team Rotti moves on to the round of 16 in an explosive game number 5. Woo!
I got goals to chase, I got roads to pave. Not yet where I wanna be, but I got close today. I went ghost today, I got least to say. I be focused on these dreams like I didn't sleep today.